After hours at the shop. After hours at the shop. You know, this is the only time I can appreciate what we do here. The cars that we get through here and the things that we do, you know, I see a lot of shops, they get a Maserati and then they're all over the internet jumping up and down about how they're fixing a Maserati. I mean, the shit we had to do to this car, we had to put an engine in it for starters, and so on. And I, you know, to me it's a job. Is it an actual AMG 190 I picked up? Here's an old beater S454. We just put an engine in and made it run, custom exhaust. When I say custom, I mean junkyard custom. Found pieces in the back because it had no exhaust. That was a chore. Of course, the inevitable, nobody can fix my car. It has a car intro on. I've been to every shop and dealership, and of course, you know, inside an hour we have the answer. And there's the inevitable best car in the world. Mercedes-Benz 190E Cosworth. 5-speed, yes, it's a 5-speed. Yep, it's in there. Of course, my wonderful SS truck that makes 680 at 7,200 RPM, 468 cubic inches, solid roller, plus a 200 shot of nitrous, because you always need that. Now here's the car that, of course, again, every shop for a year has been trying to fix this crazy misfire. We did everything. The motor's coming apart today. The head's got to come off. There's something crazy with that. And that's not a car that usually has that problem. The old RX-7, GSLSE, which is for sale. Problem with that car and all Asian cars. Everybody that wants one is a broke. They're broke. So what they do is they come on my lot, they hear the price of the car, and then they start giving me reasons why they're not buying it. Because first thing I do is I ask everybody the same question: are you ready to buy? And what happens is they usually say yes, lie about it, or they get in an argument with me. And I had a guy the other day, and all I asked him was, are you ready to buy? And he got so insulted. So what that tells me is he has no money. He's a broke ass bitch, and he shouldn't even ask about the car. And it went on for 10 minutes about this car, and then he starts saying it's a piece of crap. I said, okay, why would you want to buy a piece of crap then? Go somewhere else. It is what it is. You know, I don't look at shit unless I'm capable of purchasing it. This is a car I picked up off eBay for $2,000. I mean, look at this beautiful CLK. It needed a transmission and a radiator. They went hand in hand because the coolers leak. And it's got 69K. And I'm selling it for $6,500 now that it's done, so there's a little meat on the bone for me there. This is a 92 500 SL, 61K. Bought it for $500 because it needs a bumper and a right side fender. Now I was going to chop that car and part it. Fact is, it's worth a lot more money just the way it is, so I'm not going to dick around with the parts. This is my accountant's car who never likes to spend money because he's an accountant. And of course, we bob and weave through what's needed. We detail the car to make it look nice, and that makes him happy. You know, if I clear his lights off with the computer and detail his car, he's happy. And then when it comes back on, he'll complain, why didn't you fix the car? And I'll remind him, well, you didn't want to pay for it. Here's the 190E I shipped in from the Netherlands, along with a lathe that I just sold. We are putting a C32 engine in this car, and it's going to be a stick as it is now. So we're putting a C32 supercharged V6 with the Cleanman Stage 2. I think it's about 425 horsepower after that, and this car doesn't need any more than that. Plus I have the two-tone Sportline interior, which is at the interior shop getting all fixed up. So yeah, that's that one. And then, of course, the Barracuda. Who could forget the Barracuda? Yeah. Pitbull's got some cool cars here. Sure does. Everybody keeps telling me to do another TV show when they see these cool cars. Well, guess what, people? I've done a TV show. It's work. It is work. It is real work. And unless I'm getting paid, I can't do any TV shows. unfortunately. And then the lathes. Who could forget the lathes? At last count, I have, oh, by the way, I'm on a scooter for anybody who doesn't know, because of surgery with the foot, which is a little swollen, which sucks, but 5 more weeks and I'm off the scooter. I hooked it up though, check it out. Watch the dog. She gets crazy with that thing. Got my little container, my little basket. All right, Dick. All right. Oh, you don't want to shit on the floor today? All right. Milling machine. Yeah, so right now we got too much shit here and we're having a big ass sale soon. So I guess let's see what's going on behind me. Let's go to the sale for a minute. So this used to be a big building behind me with a vacant yard. And what had happened was the HUD housing across the street, I don't know, for one reason or the next, the hurricane supposedly did the basement and they didn't want to fix it, so they bought this property and built all around me. And now, I'm an outcast, I'm a scumbag, because I don't have an auto repair business, I have a junkyard, as the director of the Moxie Wrigley calls it, a junkyard. Right now it looks like a junkyard, but that's because I bought a new building, and guess what? It's right in the middle of their plans, so they can kiss my ass. So with that said, right now everything's in disarray because I'm not putting anything away, doing anything until the big move. Oh, the GTS 3 coming along nicely, running. And the twin turbo G body. We're going to work on that right now. Tomorrow, Monday, because today's Saturday, of course. But yeah, that's the shit going on at the shop right now. And this is the Myford that came from the Netherlands with the 190 getting sold. Great guy in Dallas is buying it. I won't even sell a machine unless someone can appreciate it. That guy can appreciate it. You know, 7. I have enough Myfords. So that's got to go. I got another Rivette coming from California. Piece of artwork. Oh, the brand new Myford. What's better to look at than that? Yeah, I know. A naked girl. Oh, and the indexing tables. Can't have enough of those. And then, of course, the mix marks. Yeah, I got everything over here. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with it, but I got everything. All right, enough bullshit. Back to work. This stuff here is going to be set up in the new building, so it's all functional. Right now, it's basically in storage. I'm getting sick of looking at it, not oiled up and being used, so. But hey, that 1906 South Bend, that's going up for grabs. Used to be a treadle lathe. And back in the day when electric motors came out, they all threw out the treadles and they made them electric. And now if you had that treadle today, it'd be worth a hell of a lot of money. So I couldn't find one, I gave up. It's too much work, I'd have to have it made. So I'm going to sell the lathe to somebody else that can spend the time on it. And I guess the guys used the belt sander and didn't tell me they dogged up the belt, but that's par for the course. South Bend in the back's for sale. Van Norman's going up for grabs. The Shirline's getting sold. And look, you know, instead of posting questions, just go on Craigslist New York. It's all there. Everything's all there. You see something you like, well, I mean, you know, within reason. I'm not selling the cars, except the Mazda, but, and then this thing. I hired this absolute dumbass to do work on this lathe. First, I hired him to do one thing, and he kind of got it together. And I said, you know what? Let me give him a crack at restoring this one. And, you know, everybody that met this guy, there was something about him nobody liked. It turns out he was a leftist. He's one of those. And his excuse for taking an hour and a half, he wanted the money and he wanted to get the thing done. And he said, oh, I put 12 days into it. When he actually only put, because I wrote down his hours, like 37 hours into it. So then I think he was a little pissed off that I was keeping track of his time. So when he went to lunch, he took an hour and a half, and I said, well, why'd you take an hour and a half lunch if you're trying to get a machine done to get paid when you only had 2 days worth of work left on it? he starts cursing and pointing to his drink, which was a Burger King drink, and said he had to walk to Burger King for lunch. And before I could say a word, he's, what, do you want me to go to 7-Eleven and eat that shit? So I said, asshole, you walk past 2 delicatessens, a bagel store, and a pizzeria on the way to that freaking Burger King. I mean, this is the inept asshole who I had in my shop, and I just got sick of looking at him. I mean, this is a guy, while I'm running the business, would walk up to me and put a part in my face while I have 3 people at the counter and 1 person on each phone line and expect me to stop what I'm doing to get it for him. This is a guy that would see dog piss in the back and yell for my guy to come clean it up instead of grabbing a mop. This is a guy that would call me from the train station a half a mile away and want to ride every morning. Typical union working asshole. Total douchebag. And he got this far with this Boxford, and I'm just going to put it together myself. I'm waiting on the manual. Unless somebody out there has the time, is local, and wants to finish this job, I'd love to pay you. But anyway, it is what it is. Craigslist. You want to buy? You want to fix? You can reach me. Just go on Craigslist. It's all there.